There's a lot of designing, testing, and trial runs behind every new innovation or new performance record. How do I know? My name's Carroll Shelby, and performance is my business. Only Mustang makes it happen. These aren't just words, it's a fact.
Well, you guys, it's finally here, the 2020 Shelby GT500. I'm Neo Auto, and for today's video, we're going to discuss everything you need to know about the new car. So I attended the reveal in Detroit, and I've got to say, this car looks really good. It has that aggressive styling and that carbon fiber. Oh, that looks so good. But the best part about this announcement is that we finally get some information about the car that we've been wondering about for so long. But we didn't find out everything. Unfortunately, we still don't know how much horsepower it will make. Or do we? While I was at the reveal, I had the opportunity to talk with some of the Ford executives and ask them questions about the car to see how it would gauge against the competition. And you guys remember this?
Venom kills demons.
Well, I was able to talk with him as well. So in this video, I'm going to discuss everything we know about the new GT500. And does Venom really kill demons? Let's find out. So I was at the reveal, and let me tell you, it was so cool getting to see the car in real life. The pictures don't do it justice. This car is a work of art.
Meet the most powerful street legal Ford we've ever built.
This is it, guys, the all-new 2020 Mustang Shelby GT500. It is the most powerful street-legal Ford in history, making 700 plus horsepower. And it can handle both the track and the drag strip. The GT500 has always been the top dog Mustang, and the new model is no exception. Underneath the hood is a 5.2-liter supercharged V8 engine, but it doesn't have the flat-plane crank like the GT350. Instead, it has a cross-plane crank. Take a listen. Nice. Make no mistake, the new GT500 is on supercar level. It comes with a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, which according to Ford can shift in less than 100 milliseconds. Now that's all fine and dandy, but where is the manual transmission? As of this point, Ford has not announced a manual option for the GT500. We'll talk more about this in a little bit. The GT500 also comes with a carbon fiber track package. The spoiler, the rims, the dashboard, and even the drive shaft are all made out of carbon fiber. There's no denying this is an incredible car. But the question on everybody's mind is, does Venom kill demons? So although Ford has given us some very exciting details about the new GT500, we still haven't been told the official power figures. Well, believe it or not, a document has been leaked that shows the engine and vehicle data for the new car. This document was leaked late last year, and at the time, it was met with skepticism because we didn't know how accurate it was. Well, now that Ford has released a lot of important details about the car, we can compare it with this to see how accurate it truly is. So right off the bat, we see the engine is a 5.2-liter supercharged V8, which we all know to be true. But what's a little iffy is how much horsepower it will make. This sheet has it listed at 720 horsepower. In addition, the torque rating is 650 pound-feet. Now how do we know somebody didn't just make this document up and post it online? Well, keep in mind, this was uploaded back in August of last year, which was 5 months before the reveal. Now take a look at this. It's a leaked brochure of the new GT500. These images of the brochure were leaked a day before the reveal. In the Power Done Right section, we can see that it says 373 rear axle ratio. In the leaked data sheet, it also has a 373 axle ratio. Now in Ford's official press release, they told us the car will have a carbon fiber drive shaft. The leaked document also has this listed. Still not convinced? A Ford spokesman said that the GT500 will rev to 7,500 RPM. On the leaked data sheet, it has the exact same figure. So it would seem that this leaked data sheet is in fact legit. But is it true that the car will make 720 horsepower? Well, that's the figure that might not be 100% accurate. In order to find out the horsepower and other questions about the car, I talked with some of the Ford executives at the reveal. Here's what they had to say. So the first person I talked to was Sam Shembari. I asked him, why does the GT500 have the old style of headlights?
So we had to pull out the fenders in the front, so the fenders are wider than the standard Mustang by about 36, 37 millimeters. So the new headlights wouldn't fit with the wider fenders, so we had to use them.
Now I get what Sam's saying, but you know, if Ford really wanted to put the new style on, I feel like they could have made it work somehow. I don't think it looks bad by any means, but it certainly would have looked better if it had the new style, at least in my opinion.
Should the Dodge Demon be concerned about this vehicle?
Now out of all the people I asked this question to, I think Sam sums it up the best.
This is a different philosophy than the Dodge Demon. This is a car that excels on the drag strip as well as on a racetrack.
So did you hear what he said? It's a different philosophy from the Dodge Demon. The Dodge Demon is dedicated to the drag strip, and it does it extremely well. The GT500, however, will be capable of doing well on the drag strip, but also well on the track.
So not so much a one-trick pony.
It's definitely a good thing. Okay, thank you.
No problem. Have a good one.
So the next person I talked to was the man himself, Jim Owens.
Venom kills demons.
All right, guys, so I'm here with Jim Owens. The cat's out of the bag now. Do you think this thing's going to beat the Demon?
We are so excited about this car. Plus 700 horsepower, sub 11 second quarter mile, and laterally being able to go left and right. This is not your grandfather's GT500, and we cannot wait for people to drive it.
So he didn't really answer the question directly, but he did express how impressive this car is going to be. A sub 11 second quarter mile time is pretty good. And he also mentioned how well the car is going to handle.
Any idea when we're going to find out how much horsepower it makes?
We're going to be working between now and the time we actually put it out in the dealerships in the fourth quarter of this year to push the horsepower to the absolute maximum that we can. So our engineering team is still continuing to work on it and continuing to develop it.
So Jim certainly seems confident in the car. The engineers are still tweaking with things to get the most power possible. So even though we don't know the exact horsepower number yet, we can be sure that Ford is trying their hardest to get the most power possible.
Well, that's good to hear. Nice talking with you.
Nice talking to you as well. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm here with Carl. Has some questions for you.
So Carl Widman is the Mustang chief engineer, and my first question had to do with the transmission options.
Yep. So first of all, the DCT, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about it?
So it is, again, we chose the DCT because of our work with the Ford GT, right?
Now remember when I said this car is on supercar level? The GT500 will have a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission just like the GT. And something else I'm noticing is, look at this interior picture of a Ford GT. The knob, electronic parking brake, the paddle shifters, and even the white trim on the seats are all features that are found on the GT500.
It's integrated with the drive modes, it's integrated with the engines to basically deliver that torque and then select that gear it needs as low as 100 milliseconds, right? So it's really fast.
So yes, the DCT will be very fast, and I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun to drive. But I still wanted to ask him about the manual transmission.
No manual option
Nope.
in the future, it's just going to be strict DCT.
We're only announcing DCT.
Now did you hear that? Carl said we're only announcing the DCT.
We're only announcing DCT.
Now does this mean that in the future there will be a manual option? It's hard to say at this point, but Carl's response gives me a little bit of hope that we might see a manual option someday. Now the last question I asked Carl was, when will we find out how much horsepower it will make?
It'll come out, it should come out in the fall. It'll come out together. Final horsepower numbers, final fuel economy numbers.
So kind of right before it comes out, basically.
Yep.
Okay.
So we keep working on it, incrementing every little bit to keep pushing the performance capability of it, and so we're never done until we actually have to be done.
So it looks like the horsepower reveal is still a ways off.
Think Dodge should be worried about this car?
I don't know. Don't know. I think, you know, we do these for our Mustang community and to put a pinnacle product on top of the rest of the Mustang lineup for a GT500, and that's what we focus on.
So it looks like we're just gonna have to wait and see. So what are my final thoughts on the car? Well, you know, it's really hard to say at this time. So far things are looking pretty promising. I mean, the car looks like it's a track monster, and Ford has fully acknowledged that it will not just be on the track, but it will also be good on the drag strip. The more you think about it, it's really a GT350 on steroids. That's really what this car is. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. The GT350 was an amazing car. And to see this GT500 getting over 700 horsepower, I'm sure people are going to have a blast with it. One of the most controversial topics about this car has always been the statement made by Jim Owens, and that is Venom kills demons. After asking all the Ford executives about the car, and even flat out saying, do you think that Dodge should be worried about this car? They all kind of gave me the same response. And the response I liked the best had to be Sam's. This car is not a one-trick pony. Historically, the GT500 was always really good in a straight line, but it wasn't really good on the track. Then along came the GT350, and people just went nuts. It was such a successful car. So the way I see it, Ford is building upon the success of the GT350 with the new GT500. And because this car will be good on both the track and the drag strip, I think most people are going to be happy with it. As far as the horsepower goes, 720 isn't bad, but remember, the Ford engineers are hard at work tweaking with the engine, trying to get the most power possible. And I truly believe that is what they're doing. So the question is, how much higher is it going to be? Well, realistically, it'd probably be around 10 to 20 more horsepower. That's what my guess is. You know, in the past I said this car was going to make hopefully around 750, 760 horsepower, but I don't know if that's going to happen now. As far as buying a GT500, I've always said I would love to get one of these cars, but I currently own my 2018 GT, and I love having the manual transmission. And to have to give that up for this new DCT, I don't know if I can do it. At the same time, I've never driven a car with a DCT, so maybe if I drove the car and actually experienced the DCT for myself, I would feel a whole lot different. So that's gonna do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. I have a lot of content coming up in the future. And also, I have an Instagram. You can check that out. There's a link in the description. What do you think about this new GT500? Do you think it still has a chance at beating the Demon? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you real soon.